Hey folks, Wayne here, and today we need to talk about squatters. I got some juicy details for you. Let's get into it. So, first thing, this comes from a woman from Tennessee who leases one of her rental properties, and when the person left on a 3 week vacation to the Bahamas, a squatter broke into the rear of her home, came into her house, took it over, changed all the locks, and when the vacation was over with, the lady that originally leases the home came back and she realized she could not get into her house. She figured, oh my gosh, my key doesn't fit. What's going on? So she calls her landlord up, and the landlord said, no, there shouldn't be anything wrong. Hold on, I'll be right there. Landlord only lives a few miles from where the house is. When the landlord gets there, she realized that other people are living in the home. And not just other people, 25 other individuals are occupying this home. And when they called the cops almost arrested the owner and the leasee for trespassing on private property. Get that? So that story there, this is what she told me. And currently she is fighting in a court, and she had another rental. She was able to give her tenant the new rental. Unfortunately, the tenant lost every item in that home that she owned. Everything. And that's my first story. A man from West Virginia who owns a small complex had recently had the complex offices up for rent. According to the information I got, he went by on a weekend to check on his rentals and found the front door was all boarded up. When he tried to enter, he found two homeless men occupying the front. They barricaded the door from the inside. The man could not get into his rentals. He called the authorities, and the cops never came. They never showed up. The very next day, he called the authorities again, and they said due to high demand on because it was a weekend, cops are busy, yada yada yada. They'll get somebody out there today if they can. They told the man they would call them. Never received a phone call. That was Sunday. Monday morning came around. The man went back out to the rental property, and lo and behold, the next two buildings next door were also broken into and taken over by people. And he lost all three buildings. And he could not get into these buildings. And now it's going to cost him tens of thousands of dollars to get his buildings back. Folks, this is happening all over the place. This is a serious matter. Imagine if you leave your home and go on vacation and come back and somebody's occupying your home. Imagine that. You just lost your home. Wow. Unless you live in Florida. Let's get into that one. A couple from Florida recently purchased their home back in 2020. They love their home so much, and they're in a beautiful neighborhood. The only thing they regret is the hurricanes that sweep through year after year. But other than that, they're peacefully living until they went on vacation. They decided to go to California on vacation to visit his parents. They took a 5-day trip. When their plane landed back in Florida, they called their Uber. Uber took them back to their home, which was occupied by 3 people. They immediately called the police. The police came out, was able to kick in the front door and arrest all three of them and got them out of the house. Luckily for them, all their property was still intact. Nothing missing. They got so lucky. But, again, folks, this is what it's like to live in Florida. Florida is the only place in the country where it's not illegal for the homeowners to kick these bandits out of their house. Only in Florida. Here in California, my last one is there was this guy, a woman, and he has 3 children. They decided to go to Oregon to visit one of his daughters. 2-day trip. When he got back, there were squatters in his home. Again, he couldn't get them out. Now he has to go through court. Luckily, his mom lives just a few blocks away. Him and his family were able to move in with his mother. But not everybody's that lucky. These people are terrorizing his family and his home. And there's nothing he could do about it until he goes through the proper court procedures, which could take up to 1 year or longer. Imagine that, losing your home when you go on vacation for squatters to move in, and there's nothing you could do about it. Again, this is happening across the country, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm Wayne. I'll talk to you on the next one.